It's the first trip to the Emirates this season. Arsenal hosting Manchester United. Francis Maxwell here from TYT Sports on Full-Time Devils, ready to talk some tactics. Big win for United against Wolfsburg in the Champions League. Arsenal suffer again. How can United capitalise on that? I'll tell you right here. Let's talk tactics. So it was a good victory against Wolfsburg despite the minor mistake at the start of the game, which I will have to touch on in a little bit just to bring it up, because this is a lineup that we basically set out against Wolfsburg. Valencia was at right back, Smalling, Blaine, Darmian, Schweinsteiger, Schneiderlin, Memphis, Rooney. Actually, Rooney will be in the middle. Memphis will be on the left, Mata and Martial. What I imagine in this game is, I've got a feeling that Louis van Gaal might go with the same team, but I have always had a problem with Valencia playing at right back. I think he's an okay substitution to bring on at times. I just don't think he's a starting right back, especially because he is not a defender. He's not. It's simple me saying that, but you're probably thinking, well, no shit, not a defender. But the thing is, when he's thinking, he's not thinking the way a defender should think when it comes to holding the line, and it was evident against Wolfsburg. So imagine here, Manchester United, just consider them being in the blue in this example. So I've changed things up a little bit. I've actually got Darmian at right back and Blind there. I'll talk about that in a second. But what happened with Wolfsburg was simple. The ball broke down the right-hand side. Everyone kind of basically dropped a little deeper. But then you could physically see Chris Smalling saying, push up. Everyone kind of pushed out. But Valencia, not thinking as a defender would, he tried, but was too late and tried to step up and tried to play the offside far too late. And then what happened, Wolfsburg got in behind and had a goal in there. But Manchester United regrouped, looked a better team. So against Arsenal, this is something I have to reiterate. I wouldn't play Valencia at right back. I would make the change. I saw Phil Jones for about, 25 minutes, and I think he looks in good shape. I would put Daley Blind out to left back. The reason why, I don't think Daley Blind's best at left back, but when you've got this situation where you don't have a consistent fullback to bring in with Luke Shaw being out, I trust Darmian one-on-one against Alexis Sanchez than I do Valencia, because Darmian had a great game at left back throughout the week and had a great game at left back last weekend in the Premier League. I think that he is going to be fit to play against Alexis Sanchez because he's good at forcing people to stay out wide. You don't want Alexis Sanchez taking the ball and cutting inside through this area, because their goal against Olympiacos, all of Arsenal's good movement comes through Alexis Sanchez picking it up and driving inside. It's telegraphed, but he's that good at doing it that Manchester United have to be sure to cover. So what I would do is I'd play Darmian in there and Schneiderlin just to double up on Alexis Sanchez, because what he likes to do is he'll drive inside, and then Theo Walcott will make this drive and run and try and either split the defenders, or he'll bend run so that he can try and push Smalling out and create that gap in the middle. Now, they are dangerous when they do this. Trust me, watch them against Olympiacos. Their defending was catastrophic. But when they move the ball well going forward with Sanchez and Walcott, they can be dangerous because that pace is very hard to manage. So I think by putting Phil Jones and Smalling in at centre-back, it gives you a better matchup in the full-back positions. I think Blind will hold his own out there wide. If it's against Chamberlain, yes, it's going to be a tough task because he's quick as well. But I think as a unit, those four for me are more stable than if you played Valencia in there with Blind and Smalling at centre-back, even though they have a good partnership right now. But that's just my 2 cents. I don't know whether they'll do that. I mean, we saw Pereira come on towards the end of the game. He could bring him in at left-back and put Darmian at right-back. But I just wouldn't play Valencia in this game. I just feel that with the form that Alexis Sanchez is in, it's just not a good matchup for me. But let's talk about what Manchester United can do to exploit Arsenal's weaknesses going forward. So going forward, Manchester United, when they're clicking, they look great. They're working on this weak side attack, which I talked about how Southampton did it against Manchester United to exploit them, because we're seeing a lot more possession with Memphis Depay out in this wide area. And what he does when he gets the ball is Wayne Rooney is doing a great job of dropping in deep. And what this does is takes out the holding midfielders. If you've got Arsenal's midfielders in there, whether it's Coughlin or whoever else, they'll try and mark Wayne Rooney because he's getting a lot of possession. And what this does is allows for Martial to make these runs and split Koscielny and Mertesacker and their other fullback, whoever's going to be playing at left back. And this allows Juan Mata to do what he's been doing very well, which is just drifting into this space, finding those gaps, winning penalty kicks, assisting. Juan Mata's on form at the moment. So I would like Manchester United to continue to exploit the weak side by getting Memphis the ball early, driving it into his feet. We know that Schweinsteiger and Schneiderlin can play this pass. Rooney will automatically drop deep for feet because he no longer needs to make these runs where he was good in his prime, but Rooney's doing a lot better of a job cutting in, dropping deep and taking the ball and holding up possession because he's a strong holder of the ball. He doesn't get pushed off easy and he spreads play. And that's Martial's job now. Arsenal are petrified right now. They're dropping so deep. Watch Olympiacos' 3 goals. One was from a corner, which basically Ospina just threw in the net. And the other 2, they were all from wide areas. They cannot mark runners coming into the box because they're sitting on top of their goalkeeper. Mertesacker, watch him against Olympiacos. They tried to push out and it looked like he was in quicksand. He couldn't get out quick enough, and then what happens is he has to turn around and he moves like a double-decker bus. And what happens is then he couldn't pick up the Olympiacos striker. The ball was driven across and he wasn't there on time. Martial is lightning fast. Push Arsenal right back into their own box. I sound like a broken record here because that is what teams seem to be doing against United. They're giving them that space. So take it. Press high. Get the ball directly into Memphis' feet and work the weak side. Ideally, this is what I want. I hope Arsene Wenger's not watching this because he might cover this up. What's going on with Arsenal at the moment is they're not covering each other. Mertesacker, whoever else is partnering, whether it's Koscielny in the middle, they're not on the same page. What a good centre-back should be doing is covering across. Everyone drifts across like this, and it ends up becoming stable. So if Memphis is one-on-one to Bellerin, who seems to be getting beaten a lot easier this season, what a good defender would do is cover. But right now, Arsenal, they're not in the same wavelength. So there's massive gaps in here, and at fullback, the fullback ends up rushing to try and tuck across, and it leaves all this space at the back, which Juan Mata can exploit so well because he's so good at drifting into the back. So the tactics are simple. You can't really put your finger on what exactly Manchester United just need to do, but exploit how inconsistent Arsenal's defending is. If Mertesacker's starting, which if it was me, I wouldn't start him, but he just looks as if he's moving very slow. Pin them into their own box because he's not quick enough to react to balls inside the box. Work the weak side. Simple. Let's do it. So plenty more coming from the partnership between Full-Time Devils and Let's Talk Tactics. We've got Adam McCullough coming on our show on Monday, so make sure to come over to TYT Sports and check that out. We've got a special fan cam special, said that twice, coming on TYT Sports this weekend as well from the big game. Make sure to come over here, subscribe, check me out on Twitter at Francis_Maxwell. And as always, thanks again.
Let's focus now a little bit more on Arsenal and particularly their manager Arsene Wenger. He'll be looking for some sort of result following their Champions League loss. Do you think that helps us, makes things harder for us? And what do you make of his relationship with Lou Van Gaal? Do you think there's a sort of battle between them like we used to see with him and Fergie? Or is it just a case that they're just two different managers and they don't really care?